this life, I walk this road, and you can talk shit. Gambling with my life, but I refuse to go for nonsense. This the life I chose, this all I know, ain't many options. About to tell the truth, I make the rules like I'm Fleece Johnson.
What's up? This is Big Lee with Hustler Spirit. Got a special guest today, Miss KEKE from Miss KEKE Prison Stories. How you doing today, Miss KEKE?
I'm doing all right.
We're going to have a conversation today. Miss KEKE, she's here to put it all on the line and let you know and introduce herself. So let's get right into it. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your growing up and where you grew up at and your childhood.
Well, I grew up in the country. I'm a country girl at heart. Grew up in a little small town in Kentucky called Danville. And ironically, I was born with both of my parents. I had both of my parents. I had them until I was 12 years old. They got a divorce when I was 12. But I grew up in the country, no cabs, no clubs, no liquor stores, no nothing. And my granddaddy was the bootlegger of the town. So I grew up always around liquor, alcohol. And, with my granddaddy being the famous person in the town. So we was kind of a popular family because everybody knew us. And I went to school. We only had one high school, 3 elementary schools, and 1 middle school. So it wasn't a whole lot of exposure. I was green, to a lot. Living that country lifestyle, it ain't really a lot that you get exposed to. You kind of sheltered as a child. So growing up, for my younger years, from, birth to about 14 or 15, I was green. I ain't know nothing. Hadn't seen no murders, hadn't seen no violence or crime or, homosexuality. I hadn't seen none of that as a child.
When did you start, say, getting in trouble? Was that a childhood thing, or what ended you up in prison?
Well, I was in the streets. After 12 years old, my parents got a divorce, and when they got that divorce, my daddy was addicted to crack cocaine, so I didn't have him around. You know what I mean? And things was happening at home that shouldn't be happening, to a young girl. And so I left the house. 12 years old, I left and I ain't come back. And I went into the streets. You know what I'm saying? So
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mind explaining what was happening when you was younger, or do you not want to talk about it?
No, I don't mind explaining. My mother, who was a good wife, she was a good wife to my daddy. And I still don't know to this day the exact reason why they divorced. Mm-hmm. I just know that they divorced. And so my mother started dating men, a lot of different men and stuff during that period of time. And these men was coming in and out of our life, and they would, one of them straight molested me, mm-hmm. And the man that she's married to at this moment, she's still married to him, a white man. He, we going to the store, we didn't have a car. And this man done told me, I'm riding the back of your basket. A little kid, innocent, don't know nothing. You know how you get on the basket of the mm-hmm. basket and you ride it down the hill. Mm-hmm. I'm going down the hill. He's behind me. And he says, if I would have met you before I met your mama, I would have been with you first. Mm. Oh, but no, you wouldn't. So I went straight home and told my mama, this is what he said. And she had the nerve to look at me like it was my fault. And I ain't number 12 or 13 years old. This man ain't got no business saying stuff like that to me. So to make a long story short, those are the type of things that I had to deal with at 12 years old. So instead of being home, I'd rather be in the streets with my friends and the grown people, because I got more attention from adults than I did as the kids that was actually in my school. I was awkward. I wore glasses. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was kind of like a little nerdy a little bit. And I never had a boyfriend in the school. None of that. It was grown men that was constantly trying to give me attention. I think young girls need to know that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because when you awkward in school, or you might not have what other kids have, or whatever, the attention that you are going to get is from a grown man. Mm-hmm. From grown men that's looking at you. From grown men that's making comments to you. Got a couple more ice cream seasons until you get grown. Like, they need to be aware of that.
Right.
And so I went through that and took to the streets, basically.
At 12?
At 12 and 13, 14, 15 years old.
Okay, so you was already embedded in everything that comes with that.
Everything that comes with it. And everything I learned was from people that I did not know that was not my blood. You know,
So,
I met these two guys one time. And I was about 13 or 14. I'm walking down the street past a hotel. And I'll never forget that their name was Julio and Troy. And I'm only like 14. I'm like, give me a cigarette. And they like, what you need a cigarette for? You a child? I said, either you gonna give me a cigarette or you ain't. One of the two. Well, what's the deal? So I end up talking to these grown men. And they like, if you can find us a place that we can post up and chill at, we'll pay you. So I'm like, this is right up my alley. Because I'm dead broke and I'm a kid, but I'm a little more advanced as a kid. I'm not just no little green little child no more at this point because I'm in the streets and I done learned a few things. So I took them to one of my homegirls' house who was grown. She was a grown woman. Took them down there and come to find out, these niggas was robbers. Real robbers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, where y'all getting all this money? I want some. Teach me how to rob too. And they like, no, girl, go on. We ain't teaching you nothing. And I'm like, well, if y'all want to keep staying here, you're going to have to teach me because I need some money and y'all going to have to pay to be here. You know what I mean? So they didn't want to do it at first. They kept saying, no, 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 no. We are not teaching you. We ain't showing you nothing. One day they came back. They had a lot of money and 2 prostitutes with them. And I'm like, man, come on, y'all. Just tell me. Show me how to do it. So they like, all right, come on. Took me with them.
On a robbery?
On a robbery.
At 14?
At 14. Took me with them. So they told me, go in the store. We all masked up. We got on all black, hoodies and everything. They tell me by myself, go in the store and see how many people's in the store. So I go in there, and there's only 2 people. The person at the register, and it was a customer in our shopping. And I went back and told him. I said, it's only 2 people in the store. So he says, all right, gives me a gun. A big, long Clint Eastwood looking gun. It had a pearl handle and the chrome barrel, and it was about this long. Barely could hold it in my hand. And he said, now go in there. He said, don't do nothing fancy like you see on TV, doing all that extra stuff. Go in there, demand the money, get the money, come back out. I was shaking already. My legs were shaking. My insides were shaking. I was spooked, scared to death. So I'm like, I can't back out now because if I do, these men might do something to me because they already equipped for whatever goes along with this robbing. So I have to do it now. I can't just say I don't want to do it. So I go and I go in there shaking and all. The gun's shaking. It's shaking in my hand. I'm shaking. And I did it. And I was like, you know, give me the money. And they gave me the money. It wasn't no problem. The other person had went on out the store. It wasn't no whole lot of, it wasn't dramatic like you see in the movies. It wasn't like that. It was real easy. I go back to the car with them. And so for the next couple months, I'm with them.
What, every day?
Every day. They living at the place where I took them at.
You're a part of the crew at this point.
I'm a part of the crew now. But I'm the youngest person in the crew. I'm a kid. You know, but the way I carried myself, I didn't carry myself like a regular, typical child. You know what I mean? Because I had, you know, my daddy's only child. So he laced me with a lot of game. You know what I'm saying? As a man wouldn't teach his daughter.
Right.
I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know so that if push comes shove, you ain't going to need no man. So, and that's what he taught me. So, it didn't really kick in until I was 15, 16 years old, you know, of what he was trying to teach me and what the streets was teaching me all at the same time. I had to apply what my daddy was saying to me, you know, as far as niggas, you know, life, the streets, drugs, everything. And that's pretty much what kicked it off and got me in the street. Now, later down the line, I separate from these two because the police come and knock on our door looking for them.